Okay, folks, just resuming from where I left off last time. And we're in June of 1895. And as you can see, quite a few things have. Oh, still gotta get that done. Um, some commenters were asking why am I censoring the save menus. There's actually a very good reason for that. It's simply because it's just for a form of privacy. I think. Oh, that's useful. 80 miles an hour. Oh, that'll do nicely. It's simply just a form of privacy because I believe, particularly with some of the things I work on, with regards to media projects, video projects, what have you. It's something that's personal to me in the same stance with, there might be stuff on there that's personal to me, like with photos, other videos, and what have you. So it's just to have some privacy. That's all there is to it. I don't really want to get onto that too long because it's interrupting the flow of play. And as I'm going through some of these, that's fine as it is because that's more of a mixture engine for freight and passenger service. So yeah, that's just basically the whole reason why I censor the save menus. It's just to have some privacy because the name PC speaks for itself. It's a personal computer. I don't want to see what's on someone else's hard drive because that's their business. End of. I don't go asking people what's on their computers. That's their business. And it's my business what's on mine. Let's just leave it at that. Right. Broken the speed record. Yay! Oh, and another one. Thank you. Right. I'm just going to save that there. I noticed a few people that have come back a little bit in the comment section, particularly on Ask the Knight 174. I mean, it's just so good to hear from Win the Rogue again, and I understand that she's actually been somewhat intrigued by this particular game in question. Win, it's great to hear from you again. You've been a very good contributor to the Q&A episode, so it is good just to get some form of communication going again. So very appreciative of that. All right. I want to. Hang on, what is up there? Okay, hang on. No, that's not how I want to do it. I don't want the bridge like that. Hang on. As I've mentioned before, folks, if you keep the... Oh, you had to pop up now. Keep the gradient low and keep it smooth, as I'm trying to do here, albeit very badly. Alright, I'm just going to save again. Put you there, put one there. And there we go. We're slowly getting things put together. First. Okay. Okie dokie. That's that particular one taken care of. Now, who needs coal? Quite a few people, it seems. Alright. Right, here we go. Now, Liverpool needs coal, it seems. Now, one thing I'm going to do, and this is another thing you're able to do once if you've got 500 grand or more, which I don't think that's a problem right there, you can add your own industries. And one of the things you can do with coal is turn that into steel. So I'm going to give Liverpool something useful there. And what do we do now? Right, I'm going to push that down to a Johnson, simply because that's of a mixed variety with cargo, and the Hamilton is only for passenger services, ideally. Right, so do that. That's going to get a nice flow going. Yep, I've gone and done it again. I've gone and bished a little. Or have I? Yep, yeah, you have. It's alright. It should be a relatively easy fix with this. Because what I'm going to do... hoping it's going to be as simple. You had to do this. Alright. I get that cut there. Ah, perfect. What do you mean can't delete? Alright. Next, what I want to do is somehow... well, that's ideal. It's going to be one of those situations, huh? No, I'm not interested in that bit. Oh, for goodness sake. Hang on. Right. I think that's another achievement done. Yep. The only thing I need to do is to get Mallard to break the world speed record. It won't be at its record pacing speed of 126 miles per hour like everyone remembers, because this thing likes to... I don't want to say revisionist history, but there is that kind of thinking in mind there. Oh dear. I'm going to try. There we go. Right. Okay, I think that somewhat... No, you just made it worse. Good Lord. Okay. Ah, right. There we go. That's fixing the problem, finally. Or... finally! As Rock would do. Okay. Right, can re-add the annex, finally. Okie dokie. Turning's too sharp. Okay, whatever. Didn't have a problem with that before. Give it a quick second just for it to do the thing properly. There we go. Yeah, I know the ES1's maybe the new king of the rails, but... Hang on. There we go. Again, only doing the multiple saves because, well, I'm not losing everything. No. I worked far too hard on these. Right, let's change the Johnsons up to a compound, because this will do wonders with regards to freight. Now, look at the moment. It's 30 miles an hour for the Midland Spinners. Let's see what happens when we change them to a compound. Now, we've just delivered the wool to Bristol, my home city. Okay. Now, because we were upgraded to a terminal, let me see, look at that. Look at that. Right. Notice even with an uphill incline, you know, it's doing reasonably okay. Just wait until it clears the incline and then starts to descend down to London. So one little thing that a lot of people have asked, I think I might have addressed this once or twice on my Twitter. A lot of people ask, you know, for a West Country kid, why do you have somewhat of an American twang in your voice? The answer to that is actually quite simple, and there's actually two sources of which to answer this. Number one, as most people know, I grew up on American movies and TV in the 80s and 90s. And the other reason is, ever since like 2010, 2011, when I started doing Skype panels, whether it be for movies, WWE, or specifically with Knight Rider, I, mostly, hung out in Skype chats with Americans. Some people like the Firebird. And for people like RDR, I've hung out with Oni, I've hung out with Weavile. How you doing, by the way, guys? And particularly with other friends like my good friend Nick Nugent, who's kind of like the elder brother I never had in life. And that's honest truth. He's just one of those wonderful guys that, I think personally, I think the man's very underrated with what he does. I mean, the things that he does is on genius and awe-inspiring level with his dedication to Knight Rider. Just giving you some love, Nick, because you deserve it. But yeah, that is just the main reason of where I've picked up the slight little twang in my voice, because most people that come from Bristol have a Bristolian accent, where some people will have such expressions as Gert Lush or Alright My Babber and all that, and I never really grew up with that in real life because I don't know, maybe it was just the way I was taught to speak, the way the people I was raised upon, what have you, I don't know, but I've never picked up that particular aspect of the West Country. Make of that what you will. And again, just stems back to the fact, I grew up on American TV. So, after a while, particularly with things like Knight Rider, or heck, even with a British classic like Thunderbirds that has American voice actors in that, it's only a matter of time before a kid at an impressionable age picks up, you know, little mannerisms and what have you. I mean, even when I got into Rider, I don't know I don't know about Knight Rider, but I know about Knight Rider. You know, when you start watching a series, a movie, you know, after a while, it's only a matter of time before, you know, where you start quoting lines from the series, or, you know, just watch the series somewhat religiously. It's only a matter of time before you start picking up these little quirks, these little mannerisms. You know, and particularly it's also the same thing, like I say, with regards to Skype chats. You know, after so long with talking to people like Oni, people like Weavile, you know, I picked up little bits and pieces and what have you, although Oni claims to this day, when I did the first retrospective I did of Sonic the Hedgehog back in 2011 for his 20th anniversary. Having maintenance on your train, this is fun. He said, you know, you've got a slight southern accent to you. I never really noticed that particular aspect, but, you know, I'll take that as a compliment. And again, you know, if you're exposed to a particular environment like that, where, you know, most people you talk to have an American accent, it's only a matter of time before you start to pick up the little mannerisms, the little quirks, you know, before, you know, what was your accent before that just kind of disappears. It's not something I've asked for. It's something that was completely unexpected, but I thought, you know what? Embrace it. You know, because at the end of the day, as long as you're a decent person and people love you, you know, does it really matter? I mean, you know, some people's take on that may be a little bit different. That's fine. But, you know, I am who I am as a result. And at the end of the day, there are some things that, you know, maybe they happen because they're the way they're meant to be. And kind of weird that I'm talking about accents when I'm doing a Let's Play on railways. So it's kind of interesting, but it's just a little something that I've been asked over time, and, you know, I just thought I'd address it here. So there you go. Right. It's always a useful thing to get stations upgraded to terminals as quick as possible. Simply because it just makes life just that so much easier with regards to loading, unloading, what have you. And I'm about to do a similar thing about here. Now this will be second from the ins. No, that's not going to work. Let's try it a different way. Okay. Alright, this is where it could get tricky. And I'm going to save again because my computer has this knack of crashing whenever it so well chooses. I love it. You know, I love my computer, don't get me wrong. But there are times where it's just like, dude, did you really have to do that? And I'm just going to make a minor correction with this particular track. Simply because if you... I'm just going to zoom in just so you get a better perspective. Look how... Yeah, see, it's blending too much with that particular track there. So I'm just going to do that just so there's a nice bit of space. Okay. Again, it's like I said in one of the previous parts. Don't try and do a whole weave round, otherwise it just blends in just a tiny bit. Oh, Taunton needs a little bit of something. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get an electric passenger locomotive to go do that. That's just stupid. Zoom. We're just going to zoom. It's a zoom in effect. Oh, I'm just being stupid here. Right. Have that one load up. We're at 1916, so we're about... Oh, 1917, I'm sorry. We're about 6 years away from the A3, actually no, it's the A1s, which means, you know, the birth of the Flying Scotsman era. Very pivotal part in Britain's railway history, because, you know, everyone knows the Flying Scotsman. You know, hold it. Now watch what happens here. Once the last of the chemicals are put in, you'll start to see the tally for that one slowly start to perk up. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. So then that will start to create that, and then various other places will require medicine, and then as a result, more and more business starts to come to Taunton. It's kind of setting a precedent that you could sort of take to, well, not necessarily take to, but you could sort of explain to people. It's like, well, this is how you know, create a lot of opportunities and what have you, because when you create a demand for it, you start to bring profit back to that particular business, and then more and more people actually come live around that business, and then you get a village, a town, a city, then a metropolis, what have you, and, you know, life is good. Oh dear, we're having the phase through again. Oh dear, I hate when this happens. Just wait until... Here we go. That one's taking a while for me to lock on. Oh, I was locked onto it already. Never mind. I don't understand how... I mean, this might be just the way the programming was circa 2006, but the idea that you could just phase through things and not have like any kind of physical impact and whatnot, I don't know. But this one's going to go all the way to Wrexham, and this is actually going to be a good thing, because again, it'll provide opportunity on here to actually bring product and income to that particular community, and as such, you know, it creates opportunities for residents to go live there in this game, so that's always a good plus. Here we go, starting to come in, that's it. I really must remove that piece, because again, that just looks so wrong there like that. See, as you can see at the moment, no one's actually living there, but a few minor adjustments that will change that, and somehow I've got to get that to be able to meet up there. But, you know, I make things happen. It's just that way. Alright, save that again. Because my computer's making those weird humming noises in the background, which can make things a little bit awkward whenever I try to do these things. Alright, just let it do what it needs to a moment. Hoping it's not crashing. And I'm going to save it again. It may be just the way that because the game's 11 years young, it doesn't quite have the same programming compatibility with what's here today. I don't know. I'm not a computer programmer or game developer. I don't claim to be one. But, you know, maybe there is just a little something that doesn't mesh well with it. Right, so we've now got that. What I'm going to do now is set up... Which one's got more? No, it's about equal. But what I'm going to do... Actually... And then... Get it to go from both. And then we don't have the... unnecessary adding of multiple engines, because this will cause traffic pile-ups, which is probably one of the only times this game has any kind of logic with regards to the physics, but that's a story unto itself. There we go. Let's upgrade that to a compound, because that'll just be faster than the Johnson. Granted, there's only 20 miles in it, but it's these small little differences that actually make up the huge differences with regards to speed and timing and what have you. And just completing the set there. Right, now let's finally upgrade Manchester to a terminal. There we go. No, I don't want to go in. What are you going there for? No. Ooh! Oh, is that... It was the A1. Never mind. Sit corrected, because I'm actually sitting for this. I'm just waiting. Okay. Whew. Let me just save that, because again, computer has issues. But then again, what doesn't? Okay. I'm just going to find the right engine to upgrade. No. No. Alright. Yeah, okay. There is the original A1 designed by Sir Nigel Gresley, who would go on to design the A4 Pacific in Mallard, who would eventually go on to break the world steam record, 126 miles an hour, which has yet to be broken. But this design everyone is so familiar with. This is the basis of... This is actually Flying Scotsman's original classification as an A1 before it was upgraded to an A3 much later on. And as such, the Flying Scotsman is the only surviving A3 in its class. But mind you, the A1s were kind of brought back in later. I think it was a chief mechanical... There's my watch again. By a chief mechanical engineer, I think it was Phil Thompson, before Sir Arthur Peppercorn took over in the 40s, who would then redesign the A1s for the Peppercorn A1 Pacifics, which sadly they were all scrapped, and it wasn't until 2008 that they built Tornado as an evolved A1 Peppercorn Pacific, and it's the only one of its class. And I have to point this out to people. Tornado is its own identity. It is not a replica. And there were a couple of people who were reporting at Swindon Railway Station a couple of weeks ago, and there was this one female reporter, and she was probably only handed a piece of paper with regards to facts and information of Tornado. She referred to them as Tornado Pacifics. It's like, no, it's a Peppercorn A1 Pacific. There were no Tornado Pacifics. Tornado is just the name that the engine was given in the 90s because of what was going on in the world at the time, and it was named after 2 RAF training bases, to my understanding. So that's a little history lesson there. So, and after that old tangent, we're going to, so let's now see, notice this, 90 miles an hour, and can do both. That's what we want. Now look at this. Fine specimen of an engine. And as always, first piece animation, you don't see the wheels animating, but note the speed. Even, with that amount of freight, it's still doing reasonably alright. There we go. Now, I need to go find some other engines to upgrade. Oh, there's a lot of wall. Oh, no. We need to upgrade you and upgrade you quick. Right, Hastings. Oh, you need something there. Okay. Oh, yeah, it's time to upgrade you. Okay. This one's about to... See, look at the speed on this. It's keeping it steady in the 80s. There we go. This is going to be a world record, probably the Portsmouth Flyer. Well, that shut me up. No record broken there. Let's see, it's just loading up.